Welcome back to the Power Maxed Mini Challenge here at Snetterton, where it's an exciting weekend of racing alongside British Formula 3s and GTs. Race number 2 is about to get underway, and there's a reverse of the top 7 in both classes, which always shakes things up a little bit. So let's go racing.
Certainly does. So let's have a look then at the grid. Henry Dupree starts from pole alongside Keith Issat, then row 2, Kevin O'Connor and Lawrence Davey. Luke Cordell down from the inside of row 3 behind Chris Knox. Well, the Cooper class grid a little bit different because of various penalties that have been applied as well. So it means that Chris Stoney and Josh Gollin share the front row just ahead of Shane Stoney. Henry Dupree enjoying the glamour of being a mini challenge pole sitter. Chris Knox and Luke Cordell a little bit further back, all of their focus entirely on the task ahead. As the boards are shown to the drivers, away we go. In car with Chris Knox, and he's made a very quick start, but he's a bit boxed in here. The same goes for Kevin O'Connor. They're up behind Henry Dupree. It means that Keith Issat is leading the way into Riches for the first time. Then it's Lawrence Davey. See Knox right to the inside as the pack all streaking through, cleanly at least amongst the JCW runners. And in the Cooper class, it's Shane Stoney who's already to the fore. Luke Cordell taking the outside track on the brakes into Montreal. He's gained several places, but Kevin O'Connor slithers wide right in his path, almost makes contact with Cordell. It gives Knox the opportunity to try and sprint through. Neil Newstead as well joining in. It's almost 2 by 2 into Palmer, and Cordell now making the move on Neil Newstead. Still tucked in though behind Henry Dupree. Replay the start then from Josh Gollin's perspective. Not so quickly away, and it means he had Ricky Page, Chris Stoney and then Shane Stoney all right up in front of him, and it was the white car of Shane Stoney which made by far the smoothest getaway. He led the Cooper class runners then into Riches. So once more Josh Gollin in chasing mode in the Cooper class. The same thanks to reverse grid for race 1 with a Luke Cordell in the JCW class. It's Keith Issat then clear of Lawrence Davey, then Chris Knox in 3rd, Luke Cordell 4th, Henry Dupree, Neil Newstead, Hamish Brandon. Kevin O'Connor's not had a brilliant first lap. He's got Mark Stewart tucked in just behind him and Patrick Mortimer, as well as down the Bentley straight. And Issat already defending here from Lawrence Davey as the field swooped through. Brundler Nelson. Mark Stewart has got Mortimer behind him, and so Kevin O'Connor losing more positions in car with Ricky Page, who has got himself right onto terms with Shane Stoney over the course of this first lap. Shows the slipstream potential of the cars in the Cooper class through the bomb hole. The only corner here at Snetterton substantively unchanged in the 2011 circuit redesign, as on his way in 3rd place Chris Knox trying to use the toe to get up with the leading duo of Keith Issat and Lawrence Davey. It's a leading quartet breaking clear, completed by Luke Cordell. Then a little bit of daylight back to Henry Dupree in 5th as Knox looks to the outside of Lawrence Davey into Riches. Still trying to find that outside traction, then jinks to the inside line of Davey, and Knox very keen to go through. The gap though somewhat disappears. It's Gideon Cresswell. Josh Gollin looking to switch places through Riches. A little bit of a lean there possibly from Josh Gollin on Gideon Cresswell. The effect is that they're all through and on their way, as Luke Cordell now looks to challenge Chris Knox, who's boxed in here behind Keith Issat as they hurtle on towards the braking zone for Agostini. Cordell switching every which way, so Davey takes the lead, knocks up into 2nd. Keith Issat maintains at least momentarily 3rd place. Neil Newstead runs wide en route to Hamilton as he attempts to drop Henry Dupree. Leading quartet en route to Oggies, and Cordell's drawn alongside Keith Issat and should go through here. Makes the move stick, gets a little bit of assistance from Issat on the exit of Oggies as they propel on towards Williams, and Chris Knox looking to line up for a move here on Lawrence Davey as they accelerate down the Bentley straight. Knox to the outside of Davey on the brakes into Brundler. Knox looking to swoop through here as he tries to dart through. There's contact and around goes Chris Knox, who spins onto the grass. Fortunately doesn't make contact with the Armco. In car with Knox, it was just a tiny hint of contact, but given the high-speed change of direction, it was enough to unsettle the car. There caused Knox all sorts of problems. So that then releases Luke Cordell to challenge Lawrence Davey. It releases Neil Newstead to try and chase down Luke Cordell. Keith Issat slipping to 4th. He has got Henry Dupree and Hamish Brandon lining up behind him to take their turn to look to challenge. Across the line, Caudle already in the slipstream behind leader Davey. Lawrence Davey, though, looking to do much as Luke Caudle in race 1, which is stick to the racing line. The fact that the cars in the mini challenge, to all intents and purposes, absolutely identical. Therefore, it comes down to drivers' racecraft about whether or not they can find a way through. What that means, though, is that as Caudle's charge is slowed, Neil Newstead can get onto terms with him immediately. In the Cooper class, Shane Stoney leads from Ricky Page and William Phillips. Then Josh Gollin heads the next group with Gideon Cresswell, Chris Stoney and Matt Hammond, all part of that group. There's the white and green car of Hammond. The gap back to Simon Walton as well. Cresswell looking to really apply the pressure to Gollin, who's not having the weekend unfolding as he would have liked. Leading quartet arrive into Hamilton. And Luke Caudle again trying to challenge the inside Lawrence Davey. Davey, though, needs to get the perfect exit here out of Oggies, and the same for Williams to ensure that Caudle can't power past along the Bentley straight. Just a single turn of the wheel then from Caudle through Williams. He carries the momentum, he's in the slipstream. It's Lawrence Davey who punches the hole through the air as Martin Poole drops out of the race. The leading trio have no change in the order, but are arguably as close as they've ever been. They have now got Henry Dupree and Hamish Brandon looking to join into that queue as the recovering Chris Knox is up behind Patrick Mortimer. Through Quorum, the cars absolutely on the limit of adhesion before they jump on the brakes, snick down through the gears and around Murray's. Luke Caudle really beginning to apply the pressure here to Lawrence Davey, and Davey's got to be mindful as well of sticking to the track limits. That's always a challenge for these drivers, particularly given the new regulations for this year, and when you're defending you sometimes don't think about that, as Davey has got Caudle looking to the outside at Richards, and Caudle may well carry the momentum here on towards Montreal. Caudle gets his nose in front and just darts across to cover the line in time. Neil Newstead looks to the outside of Davey as they're 3 wide midway through Montreal, and Davey somehow would appear to have reclaimed the lead, but he may not hold on because it's Caudle who has the inside advantage into Palmer, and they're helped there by the waves yellow flag for Martin Poole, so that gives Caudle momentary respite before Lawrence Davey can take his turn to challenging him once more. The all Constantine are up on the brakes through Agostini. Caudle then picks up the throttle on the exit, accelerates on towards the left-hander at Hamilton. It's Gideon Cresswell and Josh Gollin continue their battle in the Cooper class. Appears to have possibly got a little bit robust, given that some of those cars are sporting some damage. Nonetheless, they're still all running. It's still as close as it ever was. And Hammond decides that maybe now is his opportunity to begin to pick himself up through the order, so he darts to the inside of Chris Stoney at Montreal. A pair of them still working the slipstream to try and get back onto terms with Gideon Cresswell. Cresswell doesn't really make friends with the apex at Palmer. On past the back of the Tyrrell's restaurant towards Agostini. Very slight downhill braking zone for Agostini. No opportunity to move through, but you can see Cresswell's car squirming on the brakes as he runs out a little bit wide, and that potentially gives Gollin the opportunity to start through. Indeed it does, so Josh Gollin moves back into 4th in the Cooper class, because the 3 cars battling for the podium positions, Shane Stoney, William Phillips and Ricky Page, are long gone as Cresswell bumps and bores across the grass on the exit of Hamilton, hoping it will give him any sort of advantage. Oh, and he then makes contact with Matt Hammond. Hammond just a little bit late on the brakes into Oggies, and suddenly Chris Stoney comes back into the mix. There is Mini Cooper trim all over the place. Built strong stuff, these Cooper class cars. Therefore, everybody continuing without too much diminishing of pace. Here is the class leader, Shane Stoney, and like Luke Caudle, looking to do the double at Snetterton. As in the background, Simon Walton has a little bit of a moment. He appears to have a gear and goes back on his way. As Cresswell chasing Gollin through Coram Curve. The pair of them would appear to have dropped a little bit. Chris Stoney and Matt Hammond, both of them making sure that they get around Murray's nice and smoothly. More importantly, carry the exit along the centre straight. Race lead though, Luke Cordell has broken a long way clear of Lawrence Davey, but Davey's been given a 5-second penalty for track limits infringements. That's going to push him down the order as Grace Williams recovers from a spin right into the path of race leader Luke Cordell, who comes up now towards the checkered flag, and Cordell takes the flag and does the double at Snetterton in front of the F3 GT crowd. Oh, and more problems on the very last lap of the race, and it's Adrian Norman and Simon Walton who have a spin, as across the line for second place is Henry Dupree. Third goes to Neil Newstead after that penalty for Lawrence Davey, which sees him dropping down into fifth. The Cooper class, Shane Stoney once more dominant and victorious. He takes both victories at Snetterton. Gideon Cresswell heads the queue across the line. Let's have a look then at the results, with Luke Cordell victorious from Henry Dupree and Neil Newstead. Hamish Brandon a good fourth, Lawrence Davey demoted to fifth, ahead of the recovering Chris Knox, who made it home in sixth. In the Cooper class, Shane Stoney winning it from William Phillips and Ricky Page. Unfortunately, Gideon Cresswell disqualified for dangerous driving, so he drops out the results, promoting Chris Stoney and Josh Gollin. So large round of applause for 6 happy drivers on top of the Powermax Mini Challenge podium at Snetterton.
What a fantastic weekend, 2 wins in the bag, great points for the championship, another great car from Peak Performance. Team put a great effort in and we've smashed it this weekend.
You had to work hard though, working your way up through the order. Just took a few laps for you to get into the groove and take that lead.
Yeah, it's definitely one of my stronger points, getting through the traffic. We love the reverse grid, getting through the traffic makes it more enjoyable, so we got to the front and yeah, a great weekend.
I know the guy was on pole, so we had a bit of a plan together, and that went off perfectly. So managed to get a good start and just managed to get away. The car wasn't quite as quick first couple of laps, but then just kept getting quicker and quicker. So yeah, thanks to Coastal, we've been having some ABS issues all weekend, and we finally got sorted out for the races. So we're really pleased, doing a fantastic job, and the car's been fantastic.
So leaving Snetterton, let's have a look at the standings. In the JCW class, it's Luke Cordell who's 10 points clear of Chris Knox, with Lawrence Davey and Neil Newstead still very much in the mix. In the Cooper class, Shane Stoney putting a little bit of daylight between himself and the opposition, which is 2 points between Josh Gollin and Ricky Page.
That's it from Snetterton, and another fantastic weekend of racing in the Powermax Mini Challenge. Join us again for the next round, where we'll be at the Mini Festival in Alton Park. But until then, don't forget you can check out everything that's going on the website, on Facebook, and of course on Twitter. For now though, it's goodbye.